Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Capri Social Network. So, and let me adjust my headphones. In today's video, I want to talk about some of the main reasons why most marriages, most modern day marriages, that is, folks, don't last that long. Because if you take into consideration about how your grandparents are how long your grandparents either are or were married. For some of you who are blessed enough to still have your grandparents that are alive, think about how long some of your grandparents who are still married and were blessed enough to marry to quote unquote tie the knot, to quote unquote jump the broom, have been married for upwards to 60, in some instances 70 years. And one of the main reasons why is, folks, ladies and gentlemen, unlike nowadays, how we have social media and we have more accessibility to, for instance, reconnect with an old flame while being in a long-term committed and married relationship at the touch of a button, literally. Back then, when your grandparents, our grandparents and great grandparents, especially married, they didn't have all the accessibility that they have now due to the popularity and prevalence of social media. Therefore, it was that sort of that much more harder to cheat as opposed to now. It's a lot much more easy to cheat because we have not only accessibility to smartphone, social media, but smartphones as well. And I'm just going to call a spade a spade. Both cell phones and social media go hand in hand. And I would say they are some of the biggest contributors of divorces nowadays. And I also wanted to add this, with that being said, in reference to both social media and cell phones. Whether you know it or not, there are couples, married couples, who have been married, some that have barely been able to reach the 5 year mark of being married, because it's been said. Now, am I right or wrong for you? A lot of you married people that have been married for over 5 years, once you get past the 5 year mark, you're very lucky to be able to be married to the same person. And anyway, how many of you have noticed how when most couples may wake up in the morning after sleeping together in bed, most married couples, what's the first thing they do? They pull out their cell phones without even greeting or acknowledging their partner, asking without even asking them how was their sleep from the previous night, or even greeting their significant other. Instead, like I just stated, they go straight to their cell phones to check their feeds or timelines on their social media pages. And not only that, but it's also been instances where a married couple could both be in the bed together, and both of them, instead of them having a casual conversation with each other, which is part of, I feel like, what a married couple is supposed to do, because communication, I would say that's one of the key components to a very successful and long-term marriage. Communication, as well as good chemistry. How many times has there been several instances of married couples being right next to each other in bed, instead of them having a casual conversation with each other, a long conversation with each other, they would both be scrolling through their cell phones. And this is one of the big, I will not quit stressing it, one of the biggest reasons why so many married couples are either separating or divorcing, due to the popularity of social media. And think about the days when a couple, and this is pertaining to how much more easy it is to cheat nowadays, as opposed to back way back in the days before cell phones became popular. Instead, when more people had pagers, some people may have called them beepers or landlines. When, for instance, you could be cheating on your significant other while being married and having a landline, in other words, a house phone at home, at your home, and all of a sudden you will see a phone call on the call ID, back when call ID first became prevalent during the 90s. And it just so happened you may see a man's number, a strange man's number on the call ID, or vice versa, a strange woman's number on the call ID. What will you do? You would usually ask your significant other, why is there some strange man or woman calling? And it will usually start a big mess. As opposed to nowadays, you could literally have that person you're cheating with call you on your cell phone, especially if you have a significant other who doesn't have access to your cell phone, doesn't know your password or anything, and just for the most part get away with it. That's one perfect and prime example of how social media has allowed us to be able to, quote unquote, cover our tracks when being unfaithful in relationships. At the same time, there are people that have been murdered due to social media, due to them being caught red-handed cheating on their significant other after their significant other found out through social media that they happened to cheat on them, and usually find out the exact person they usually may have cheated on them with. Anyway, I'm going to show some clips. All these clips are on behalf of TikTok, on behalf of why most modern day marriages fail nowadays. So if you bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you all the clips pertaining to why most modern day marriages are failing.
Point of reference to what a marriage is. How can I naturally know how to be something I was never raised by? You don't know what a wife is because you've never had the blueprint, a point of reference of what a wife is. In your mind, a wife is just getting a ring. That's not a wife. Are you ready to mentally, spiritually, emotionally, sexually hold your man down? Or is it just about getting a ring and being able to say, I's married now? This is not The Color Purple. This is reality. You don't have what it takes to be a wife. It's not just about the man. That's not the reason that marriages fail. They love to blame it the man. They love to say he cheated on me, that's why it's over. I am bored out of my mind. I'm with you. Listen, I told this woman, if I was stranded I was so bored. Every time I went through the worst periods of my life on a personal level, this woman didn't know what to say or do to help me to get through. You were physically there, but I still felt alone. I said to her, if I was stranded on an island and they said you can take either a thing or a person, it wouldn't be you.
You told her that?
I told her that.
That's why
you probably could have just brought
that
up.
That wasn't about tearing her down. Listen,
Okay.
I'm already on an island and I feel by myself. When you get in the most vulnerable, dark spaces in your life, when you're dealing with the roughest patches, your wife and your girl or whoever is supposed to be there to help you to get through. It's me and my baby. There's nobody else. You can't buy me nothing to fix this. You can't pull up a car with a ribbon on it to fix it. I need to have a conversation with my woman, with my wife. They don't understand that. They would say, my face is pretty, my ass is big, my stomach is flat. This should be enough to help you to get through, right? I can go to the kitchen and cook something for you.
Back to the
It'll
first
fix
point.
it. No. That's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, it's very simple. When you get married, when all of the balloons are gone and the tents are torn down, your little horse and carriage and 1,500 people that you flew in town, do you even know the person you're marrying? Do I love you more than I know you? How is it possible for me to be talking, oh my God, he's amazing and she's amazing? You're selling everybody on some that you don't even believe. So then when it's all said and done and the smoke clears, you don't even know the person you married. That's it. Women give up on men too quick, man.
I agree with that.
If you slip up, it's not always equated to cheating. Stop giving up. At the end of the day, listen, if you walk up the street right now, are you as a woman, can you say you don't see the value in that man because he's homeless?
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to also read these statistics to you courtesy of Microsoft Copilot, aka artificial intelligence, on the divorce rate, how high the divorce rate is. And this is based upon 3 years ago, the year 2021, the divorce rate from that year. Now, in 2021, a total, hold on, let me share my screen, and my apologies. And let me put on my glasses because things seem to be kind of blurry without them. Now, in 2021, a total of 689,308 divorces occurred around 45 U.S. states that report this data. During the same year, 1,985,072 marriages took place, making the U.S. divorce rate 6 per 1,000 people. The famous statistic that have all marriages ending in divorce is true, but it specifically applies to first marriages. Second and third marriages actually fell at a far higher rate. The average length of a marriage prior to divorce is 8 years. To be honest, folks, most marriages nowadays, most modern day marriages, due to both social media and cell phones, are lucky enough to be able to last even a year due to how, like I stated earlier in this video, we have so much accessibility to be able to see other people while married to our significant other, to the extent where it's so easy to cheat, to the extent where you could be able to cheat while married to your significant other, your partner, when a neighbor right next door to you, due to how there are apps that allow you to be able to spot neighbors that who literally may stay right next to you, that you may find extremely attractive, more attractive in some instances than your actual marriage partner, that you could cheat with adult apps, that is. Anyways, let me show more footage pertaining to the topic.
There are 5 reasons why relationships fail. Number 1, you pay more attention to your phone than you do your partner. Number 2, you're loud with your complaints, but silent with your compliments. Number 3, you love to be heard, but you never take the time to listen. Number 4, you take private issues to public platforms. Number 5, you expect forgiveness, but you're slow to forgive. Straight up.
Well said. Well said. Let me show y'all some more clips.
Of women, as well as men, talk about what they want in a relationship instead of inquiring about what the other person may want in a relationship. And they wonder why the relationship fails or doesn't work. It doesn't work because it's all about you and what you want. Perhaps you should try something different so you can arrive at a different conclusion. Focus on what the other person truly wants, and most importantly, accept what the other person truly wants.
Marriages die a fiery.
And I just wanted to let you know, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to also show the reason I'm showing this guy who happens to be Caucasian is I wanted to let you hear it from multiple sources, not specifically on behalf of my brothers and sisters, but the Black community, why marriages fail. But I also wanted to let you hear, judging from a white person's perspective, because after this clip, I'm going to show a white female who will be giving her perspective as well on why most modern day marriages are failing. Anyways,
death because they're too freaking prideful to go back in the room and apologize and talk through things and patch it up. If you're committed to a relationship, you got to be 100% committed to your communication. Otherwise, your marriage will die along with the other 60% of divorces out there.
Do you expect too much from your partner? So I'm reminded by something that Esther Perel said, and that is, back in the day, people got married in order to have a family or for stability or financial security. And they got their needs, emotional and physical needs, met through a village or a community of people around them. But nowadays, we are expecting our partners to be our everything. We want them to be our best friend, our lover, our sexual fantasy, our teacher, our mentor, the parent of our children, our financial security, our best friends. Like, that's exhausting. Can one person possibly be all those things? Are we setting ourselves up and our relationships up for failure by having that expectation? Well, some research shows that that could be part of the reason that marriages fail. It's just too much for one shoe or one person to possibly fill. One shoe. You know what I'm saying?
You know what the number one reason for divorce is right now? It's commitment or lack thereof. This is why I always say, marry someone you could go to war with. Marry someone who would go to war with you. Marriage is tough. You need two tough people to stick it out. Two tough people that are willing to go through the ebbs and flow and stay committed to the marriage. I think in society, we've made it too easy just to call it quits. Everything's like instant gratification, instant satisfaction. We got social media. We could just be done and go on to the next best thing, right? But that's where marriages are failing. It's 75%. 75% of marriages are ending because of lack of commitment.
Might I add, another reason why divorces, and this is judged from my perspective, why marriages don't last as long is because when women, due to the simple fact that when no matter what race the woman may be, do not, when it all comes down to it, and period, point blank, do not know what they want. Because how many women have married guys due to how financially secure or how tall or attractive the guy, they may have found a guy to be, only within a month or so to get bored with that guy and say that they would like to end their marriages or wanted to end their marriages due to how they got bored being married. And let's not factor in how there are several women that have ended up divorcing due to how, while married, they already, well, previous to marrying, they happen to have kids by another man, because there are so many men that are married that are stepdaddies as well. And it never fails anytime, or in most cases, when a man may be married to a woman that may have kids by a previous man or from a previous relationship, she's always, in most instances, still seeing the children's fathers, which usually ends up in divorce as well, due to all the drama that it comes with being a step parent. Let's not forget about the women that may be married to men or may have ended up divorcing men due to them married. When they married the man, he already may have had kids by other women prior to marrying her, and just not really factoring in how him having kids by other women from a previous relationship was one of the biggest reasons why his marriage ended up in divorce. And let's not forget the blended families as well. Whereas, for instance, a man may have 4 kids by 4 different women, but may happen to marry a woman who may have all her kids by 4 different men, which usually will make them a blended family in most instances. And whether you know it or not, ladies and gentlemen, anytime couples may be married, they may already have had kids from previous relationships. Those marriages usually end in a lot of drama, a lot of turmoil, and divorce, because those people are never done seeing the people who they had children by previously before marrying the person they ended up marrying, even if the person they ended up marrying had no kids by that person at all. You know, if basically anytime a man and a woman may marry each other who may not have kids by each other at all, however, may already have kids from a previous relationship, I'm trying to clarify, make it more plain and simple. Chances are those marriages hardly ever last due to the simple fact that either a man may be seeing some of his baby mamas while being married to his wife, or vice versa, the woman may be seeing some of her baby daddies by being married to her husband still. And in some instances, those marriages like that may end up in one of the persons that either the wife or the wife or the husband getting murdered too, due to jealousy as well. It just comes with a whole lot of drama. And my point of saying this, and just in case some of you may be wondering where I'm coming from, is that's one of the main reasons, another reason why marriages end up in divorce due to blended families, also due to how some women, while being married and after having a wedding ceremony, having her parents in some instances spend so many thousands of dollars on an extravagant wedding. Some of these same women, after doing their wedding vows and going through all that it comes with in order to throw a wedding ceremony, may still want to be able to wow out or show her wild oats by going on girl trips as well. And while she's going on those girl trips, there's no telling how many other men while being married to her husband, she may have ended up usually messing around with, and in some cases messing around with, and then coming back home from the girls' trips back to her husband and infecting her husband with multiple STDs as well. Anyways, let me proceed.
Necessarily mean the contract. It means, as you said, the covenant and the love. If you're not ready for that selflessness, because that's, for me, why marriages fail, is because people are, their value bases are different.
Yes.
Their goals and aspirations for what they want out of that union, marriage, that's where the clash happens. If they're not aligned, it won't.
I should have one more, and then I'm about to end the video.
Thing you found out up to that wedding day is just what got you to the altar. Everything you about to say I do to is what you don't know. So this is why more than 50% of the marriages end in divorce, because they have no idea that the commitment they're making is not to what they do know about this person. It's what they don't know about this person.
Damn.
Well, I'm going to end this video. And make sure you guys comment. Let me know what you think about this subject. Till next time, you guys have a good one.